Good evening, YouTube. The purpose of this video is to assist you in being able to select the option to never allow apps to access your location. This is relevant for Internet Explorer 10 using Microsoft Windows 8, which is a new version that they also call Metro, which has the little icons as you would find like on an iPhone. Okay? If you're like me, I like to try to be as secure as possible, or at least pretend to be, because in today's society you really don't have any privacy. But I went to check my settings to make sure that my privacy options were set. So I went to the little settings icon in my Internet Explorer 10. I clicked the little gear at the top. I went down to Internet Options, and the first thing that alarmed me, I saw in the General tab that things were grayed out there I usually have access to, but it didn't bother me because I could get around that. So I went to the Privacy tab. Of course, I checked through all of the tabs to make sure everything else was to my liking, but I went to the Privacy tab, and the first thing that I noticed that really alarmed me was that the option was grayed out under Location, and to me this was very alarming because the option states never allow websites to request your physical location, and it's grayed out and you don't have any any ability to change that. And I was a little shocked by that because if I'm the administrator on this computer, there's no reason I should not have access to do that. And I didn't select or request it to be that way. And I remember when I first started up, it wasn't there like that. So I thought that maybe the computer automatically uploaded some updates that changed that. And I didn't like it. So of course, I went about my way to find out how to quote-unquote fix that. Okay? So this video is going to be about, once again, assisting you in being able to select the option to never allow apps to access your location that I just showed you. So again, like I told you before, if you went to the tools, the settings, the Internet options, and you looked at the privacy tab, you saw that. And I hate it when it does the automatic snap. I need to take that off too. But you saw that under the Internet options, under the Privacy tab, that your location was grayed out. Now, in order to remedy this, you would need to hit the Windows key, which are the four little squares at the bottom left of your keyboard to the left of your space bar, and the letter C at the same time. What this does in Windows 8 is it brings up your search sidebar, your charm sidebar, and you're going to click on search. You want to make sure that you're under settings, the little gear shift, and once you get there, you want to type in location. Once you start to type in location, you should see this icon that looks similar to this that says location settings. You want to click on that. Once you click on that, you'll say here, change location settings. When signed in as administrator, you can let users control how apps use their location. So now with this new Windows 8 Pro platform, the apps actually have the control over your computer. You do not. And help Microsoft improve its location services. Again, when signed in as administrator, you can let users control how apps use their location and help Microsoft improve its location services. Now, you see two options here. The first one says turn on the Windows location platform. Under it says let users choose their own location setting for apps, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to choose your own location settings for the apps. But please notice here that you have to check that, or you will not be able to choose your own location settings for apps. So I know in the back of your mind, if you are a person that actually cares about stuff, you're asking yourself, well, what the heck is the Windows location platform? But in the meantime, you're thinking, I don't care, I just want to figure out how to get that UnGray, because you're not used to seeing it that way. So you click apply. Okay, and then you close out of that. Close back out of the old Internet options because you need to refresh it. Go back into it again. And when you go there and go to the Privacy tab, you'll see that it's already selected for you, never allow websites to request your physical location. Now, you may be asking yourself, which is the worst of two evils? Now, the apps, as you know, can be created by anyone. Okay, so you might have, a 12-year-old at the other end that's just messing around getting locations you know, or people that just are having fun and they really don't care. But you may have some that just want to test how smart they are and see what they can do with it. And so that's always an unsettling feeling. But on the other hand, you have Microsoft Windows and all of its conglomerates and all of its people and all of the people they're kind of in bed with, you know, with your location. Now, if they're making it so that you have to give it to either them or to these other people, it's always accessible to them regardless. It's just when you do it, when you click on the apps, I guess it would take them more, hypothetically speaking, I'm sure, if they really wanted it, it wouldn't matter. But it would take them more to be able to get it versus if you selected the Microsoft Windows platform to always have access to it. So I don't know how that works, but now I'm going back to change it back to what it was originally. So I'm going to hit Charms again. Well, I'll do that later. But if you're wondering what the Windows Internet, Windows Location Platform is, the real name of it is the Windows Sensor and Location Platform. Now, I'll put the link to the Windows page is msdn.microsoft.com, and there's a whole bunch of stuff after it, but I'll put it in there. Now, it doesn't explain to you what Microsoft Windows Location Platform is on that little thing. It just tells you that, hey, if you don't want the apps to have control over your location, then you need to click it. And most people, you know, they know something's not right, but they just kind of go on. So, but if you look at that website, it says support for the Windows Location Provider, which is capable of retrieving location data, support for GPS devices using Wi-Fi triangulation or IP addresses, a sample geolocation driver that demonstrates a simulated GPS device, a new sensor diagnostic tool for testing your hardware and device drivers. The platform includes the following new features for modern sensor app developers: a sensor's namespace that includes support for a variety of motion, device orientation, and light sensors. The output for one motion, such and such, so forth. It is capable of retrieving the computer's location using the Windows Location Provider or GPS input. Okay, so there's a lot more to it. You can read it and, you know, provide your own take on it. I'm going to tell you the truth, how I feel about it. I've always, for me, you know, since I was in high school, I've always, you know, liked computers a lot, you know, because of different things I had in my life. It made me want to stay away from them for a little while. I've been doing admin, I think, from the age of 14 to 30, and then, you know, from the age of like 17 to 30, I did admin work. And, you know, just very computer intensive. I went to school for computers, but I did not finish. Now, like I said, I usually always have like 3 or 4 computers laying around. I used to before 30. After 30, it was like 1 or 2, hopefully. But what prompted me to have to get another computer is that both of my computers failed on the same day. Absolutely insane. They both failed on the same day. So I had to get another computer. Didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I went out to, you know, I thought I was going to get me another cheap little throwaway $200 computer from Walmart. I went there and I thought that I was getting a great deal until I bought it home. And it was a Chromebook. I had no idea what that was at the time, but basically you can't create your own work on your computer. You have to create everything on the Google hard drive, Google Cloud or whatever. And so you don't have any privacy at all. You don't have any privacy to write your personal journals. You don't have any privacy to create your original poetry, your fiction. And I'm a writer. I love to write. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what people pay you to do, that's what I do for my pure enjoyment. I like to create, you know? And so you can't even do that in privacy and hoping that anything that's conceived, it has to be done in the dark at first, you know? Like when your parents created you, they didn't go out in the middle of Central Park somewhere for everybody to see them making the creation. They went somewhere in dark between the two of them. Or light, you know, however they liked it, between the two of them, somewhere private. So whenever you conceive anything, a thought, artwork, plans, meetings, all of those things are something that's personal and private, and that should be done in the dark. It shouldn't have to be shared with the whole wide world. Nobody should access that to you, but you. You know, you need time to conceive it, to take your ideas and thoughts through the incubation period. And I think that's just so unfair, you know. And with the Chromebook, and so I immediately, no question, I took it back. Not a problem. Took it right back. And then I was like, okay, well, I really do need a computer. So I went again, and I was like, okay, this one I can actually save stuff on a computer. But the trick was, you know, it was a Windows 8 platform. And you didn't think nothing of it. You thought, oh, it's just another upgrade. But then you realize, hey, this looks just like the iPhone apps. And at first, you're a little suspicious about it because you're like, you know all those apps track all your information. But then you're like, okay, well, you know, it's kind of cool looking. It looks kind of neat. And, ooh, I get to get all these games free, you know, that you wouldn't have if you didn't have the app. So that's how you get sold into stuff like that. And basically, you're just selling your soul. You don't have any privacy. I don't like it. I really don't. And so if anything happens to this computer, I really don't give a rat anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'll be done because it's just ridiculous, you know. But I know the society that we're living in, everything is changing rapidly. Pretty soon, they're going to have sensors in the refrigerators, the clothing, all of that, you know, real talk. So, but I just wanted y'all to be aware, you know, if you had the same thing too, where you were just like, oh,